Welcome everyone to the Vermin Sermon. The last week's been a little bit interesting, and there's something I want to address pretty quickly here. So, someone I knew and had something in the works for a little while had stopped communicating, and we had some messages sent back and forth. And I know that, I mean, some of you guys probably don't want to hear it, but just in case, if you are watching this, and I'm not going to name your name, you know who you are. Um, I'm not going to name any names for the sake of protection and all that stuff. Um, if I just go ahead and look back at some of the things you said, I think there's been some miscommunication. Um, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think I did anything that would lead to that conclusion. Really, what happened is, um, I was gonna make a this person was gonna edit some videos that he gathered from certain things, compile it, edit it, whatever, put it up, and what ends up happening is all communication ceased for 2 months or so. Comes back, says their laptop had water spilt on them and they didn't have a phone for that period of time. Not so sure if I could believe that, but that's besides the point. Um, the weird thing I want to address, okay, if you are watching this, whoever you are, um, one of the last things you said was you better watch what you say. The point of what I'm saying is not it that has nothing to do with like some kind of this is not a fight, it's not an argument, it's not a threat. I pointed out issues where you fell short, where you said that or rather I pointed out parts of where you didn't communicate and where you had an Xbox and we could see that you were playing on your Xbox, and not only that, you've had a past history of doing this with other groups and organizations, and I'm again not going to mention because that's just not again I'm not trying to like out you. Um, all I'm going to say is, dude, when you responded and said, "Hey, um, you better watch what you say." No, it's not about that. Like you're taking this like it's a fight, like it's a personal attack. No. The reason I called you out on your nonsense is because I want you to be better. The whole point is for you to stop, you know, being childish about it. You saying you better watch your back. All that tells me is you didn't read anything I said. You just saw a big wall of text. You skimmed through it. You said, "Oh, negative unga bunga must attack mode." Dude, it's time to grow up a little bit. Um, and I'm just being honest. If you said like, "Hey, dude, you're being really harsh and rude," if you said that to me, I would be like, you know what? Maybe I miscommunicated and I didn't mean for what I said to be rude. That wasn't my intention. That would have been the adult scenario, the adult conversation to have. But instead, I don't get it. No, I don't want to fight you. No, I'm not here to argue with you. Um, I just don't think you get it. And I don't know what it'll take or how long it'll take, but at this point, you've lost my trust, and I'm just gonna have to wait a couple years for you to mature a little bit, and also in that time, I will mature a little bit, and maybe we can resume where we left off. But until then, you know who you are. I'm not trying to fight you. I'm not trying to fight you. I don't care about like like this beef or whatever. It's not beef. I just want you to do better. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the lack of communication, the childishness, and just everything overall. Um, and for people who are really out of the loop and really confused, it's just I really had to get it off my chest. It's been bothering me this whole week, and there's no real way to communicate effectively because he's not gonna see any other messages I'm gonna send him. So if he's looking out for my YouTube and he sees this, then you know what to do next. Make things right, and you know stop playing this little kids game of arguing and a lack of communication and just all of that stuff. Just put that past you and just work on yourself. That's all I have to say. And again, for people, you're probably confused, and I know that it's probably really confusing. I left out a lot of details on purpose. I get it. You might be like, "Oh, you left out details because you don't want smoke." Like, no, I know you're gonna say something like that. You're gonna think something like that. Get out of that mindset. I'm not here to fight you, man. It's ridiculous. The internet, man. I just like, and the internet's the only places where you'll meet so many people who are like 18, 19, 20, but they act like they're 13, 14, 15. It's ridiculous. Um, but all of that stuff aside, let's move on to what you guys are here for. And the first thing I think we should mention is Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered officially was revealed. Everyone saw this coming. This wasn't a surprise to anyone. Like, let's just be real here. Uh, all the whole 510 and all that nonsense, and that was just like it was a rather weird marketing scheme. I'll tell you. So yeah, your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about it?
Oh man, where do I even start on that? Oh, it's so grief.
Yeah,
Oh, the griefing. Like the way they prefaced it, it was like it was something completely new, and well, technically it was new, but this was like, could you just please keep this to yourselves? Like, well,
yeah,
no. Like as I said to the boys when like this was going on, I was actually eating like pepperoni pizza while like that thing was happening. So I had literally more to do with pizza than Need for Speed did,
then you
and they had it in there.
yeah,
So okay, thank you, nice one.
nice.
Oh, I wonder if they're actually just like not even. I wonder if they're just actually just like griefing on purpose at this point. Like it feels.
I have no idea, man.
If not, I'm worried if this is like a serious attempt. I'm really
Yeah,
worried.
I am too. I don't remember who it was, but
Because if you grief and it's just like, fuck, I grief, my bad. Like,
yeah,
it's a mistake, obviously. But if
yeah,
this was like calculated, it's like, this is gonna really sell him. This is gonna get him good. Oh, wrong move.
yeah,
They could just look through any of their comments on their trailer video. So
yeah. Like, okay, for
some people
everyone,
wrote thesis. Like there was a couple
yeah,
theses in the comment. Theses
yeah.
in the comment.
Um,
Oh,
everyone, check out Crown's comparison video, that he made, and it's baffling. It's baffling how little they changed stuff. It's complete. It's ridiculous. Okay, a lot of people were like, Burnout Paradise Remastered was not a very good remaster. They didn't do a whole lot, and I think I would agree in an objective sense, right? I really really enjoy the game, so of course I'm biased towards it. But I will be honest in admitting they didn't do a whole lot for Burnout Paradise Remastered, and they could have done a lot more. The textures, there were new textures for pretty much everything, if I recall correctly. But there were some. It wasn't a massive change, and the PC version, I would say it looked different, but did not look much better because the way the textures are. But with Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered, there's almost no change between the PC version maxed out and the normal or the remaster. I don't even I was thinking I was trying to think back to remember what they looked like.
hey Dev,
So I
didn't you
probably missaid something. But yeah, go ahead.
Didn't you say you found like a lighting mod pack that arguably to a degree looked better?
Yeah, I did. I found a couple of things. Like you could just mod the
Oh,
game. Honestly, if you just use reshade, you could actually probably make the game look about as good as, if not better than the remaster. And you obviously you can't say that for something where there's like textures, or a difference in textures, like Burnout Paradise Remastered. You can make something that almost looks as good subjectively with reshade on Burnout, but it isn't quite just because of the lack of fidelity in the textures. But with Hot Pursuit 2010, it really feels like they didn't change anything. And you know what's weird? I'm gonna admit I don't play games, or no, I don't make games. I don't know what. Um, honestly, like at this point, I
I
haven't
don't
been
play
playing a lot of
games.
games
I
either.
was about to say you. I was about to say you're a fake gamer or what?
Yeah, I'm a fraud, by the way.
I don't play
I'm coming
games.
out. I'm coming
Fair
out of the
enough at this
closet as a
point.
non-gamer. But basically, no, I don't make games, so I don't understand how difficult the process is, or how certain things work, and hardware resources. But I just don't understand. As a
What is it
consumer,
that you don't understand? Because
Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered on consoles runs at 1080p 30. It looks almost identical to the PS3 version. They didn't increase textures or anything. They just like upscaled the res, but like really,
I can't
still
say.
can't.
Wait, which engine is it in?
Chameleon.
I
I
don't know
think it's a
how
slightly
difficult.
modified version of renderware.
I don't know
I
how
think that's
difficult
what it is.
Chameleon is, but like from like my own experience using like UE4 and all that, like changing textures and all that, at least in there, is like pretty fucking easy.
Mm.
Like it might be extremely tedious and take a long fucking time, but it's not hard.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure Most Wanted 2012 also runs on Chameleon, which does have different textures than Hot Pursuit 2010, I think, like for the road and other things. So of course they could have made the developmental change, but what I really think it is we already talked about this. Hot Pursuit 2010 is the perfect game to remaster from a business standpoint, right? You're like, okay, we're EA, we want to get a Need for Speed game on Switch. Which one do we put on it? Like, well, if we put something like Heat on it, which is the latest release, it would be extremely difficult to manage resources. Like, yeah, good point. So how about we just pick an older title and we remaster it? And then because we're going to remaster it and have it on Switch, we're going to also have to remaster it and have it on other consoles. Fair enough. So what ends up happening is they pick the game that out of in recent times, probably the most people fondly remember or have good, I guess, have memories of it being a
Perception,
good
memory,
experience. Yeah. Like
all that.
Hot Pursuit 2010 was both well received by critics and the fan base of Need for
Which is
Speed,
quite
but
rare,
also
especially nowadays.
yeah, it definitely resonated, of course, with the people who played the original Hot Pursuit style games, but it also was somewhat favorable to the, I guess, underground era fans of Need for Speed. So, I mean, honestly, I don't really like the game a whole lot now. I know that's a somewhat unpopular opinion, but that's okay. I get why people like it. It's just not for me. But when I was younger, I definitely did like it. When I was around, I think I was around 10 when it came out. And the thing about it is that because of all of these factors, I mean, especially when you look at other games where maybe the critics received them well, but the fans are either they really don't like it or they're polarized. Because you see, Most Wanted 2012 is an example of a game where the fan base is polarized. There are a lot of people who really, really enjoy the game, and there's nothing wrong with that. But many others, and myself included, we really, really don't like the game. So that would be a rather tricky remaster to pull off, I guess, or maybe as a first remaster. So why not Hot Pursuit 2010? It also helps that it already looks very, very decent on its own, by itself, without a remaster, and especially so for its time. So to make a remaster and have it on Switch, let's have it be one of the best looking Need for Speed games, one of the most well received Need for Speed games, both by critics and fans that normally would be against that type of game. And let's also pick a game that runs on a modified version of an engine that we already figured out on Switch, namely with Burnout Paradise Remastered. So all of those things put together make it very clear as to why we have Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered. So That's like there's definitely a
Personally,
reason why. Go ahead.
personally, what I don't really care about this game is like, yeah, there's all the obvious reasons, but like just for me, I played through this game 8 months ago. Like just randomly, I'm like, oh, I feel like
Might as
playing
well.
like just some hot Pursuit 10. I just did, and I was like, mate, now, if they even if they
Remaster
released
comes
it, I'm
out.
probably still not getting it. Remaster my nuts, bro. I'm fucking just downloading like a CD key of the normal version. Don't care.
Yeah. Honestly, like,
oh
here's the
man.
thing.
To be
Hot Pursuit-
fair, yeah, business standpoint, amazing. Like low
Yeah.
effort, high reward.
Yeah.
And then you also got the Switch. Yeah, as you said, the Switch to add in.
Yeah.
New people might buy it. Like, oh, actually, I was going to
Because,
say,
like,
oh, I always
you
wanted
know,
to play this. I'm like, wait a second, what do you mean?
for some people to get introduced to Need for Speed, it's not a terrible title. But actually,
That's a pretty good introduction, if anything. It's like, you know
it'd
how
be a
like
rather weird
how Need for
introduction.
Speed, was like introduced, as like the supercars and all that. If
Yeah.
anything, that's like the Neo like intro to Need for Speed.
Yeah,
playing
but you
like
see, the
that.
thing is, because in 2015 they rebooted the
Oh,
series
yeah.
and refocused it. That would be actually a rather weird introduction to Need for Speed, because you're like, hey, this remaster is kind of it's actually its own thing. It's not what you're going to be expecting for future Need for Speed titles. So that's got to be confusing.
Oh, they lost their focus
But-
after a single game. Unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, like still, but like, they definitely didn't lose the
Yeah.
focus. This is like a remaster, a side release.
No, not with this, but with Need for Speed, like how it's progressed
Oh,
from say 2015 and all that. Because the thing is, that's like I'd say personally the accurate one. Like they lost their focus because they didn't lose the vision; they just lost focus
Yeah,
on
they
how
just
they
lost
actually want the
focus on
vision to
it.
pan out.
Exactly.
They got the macro, but not the micro. But unlucky.
Yeah. One of the things about the remaster is there is crossplay, which is honestly probably the best part about this remaster. People on Steam, Origin, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, all of that stuff. It does have crossplay. Some people were mentioning that it doesn't really provide an incentive for online play, like a modern incentive, right? The online is exactly the way it was. Like in the Crew 1, one of the reasons someone would play online is either to rank up or to make money, because it was one of the most effective active ways to make money in that game. But with Hot Pursuit 2010, being that it was in 2010, you would play multiplayer because it was fun. You wouldn't do it for an incentive. So yeah, I guess it would have helped if there was an incentive, something to work towards. But the way I see it is, I would much rather a multiplayer system be set up so that it's fun, and it's so fun it doesn't need an incentive. That is a weird argument to make, because I understand that I'm not really advocating for the lack of features. Please understand what's going on here. I'm not advocating for online multiplayer on purpose to not have an incentive, but a good sign of a good multiplayer system is that even when there is no incentive, it's still fun. And so honestly, I do somewhat agree. They should have implemented some other things and some more stuff.
To be fair,
you I don't know, like a separate online rank or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
what would your like main incentive to say play like out besides fun? Like personally for me, like a ranked multiplayer system. It's like my shit. I love it. Like climbing up a leaderboard.
Yeah.
What other ones would there be?
Honestly,
actually,
like,
if anything, I would say actually through ranked, because like say Crew 2 did and a lot of other games still, where when you go through say like ranked, you unlock depending on what rank you get. Say at the end of the season, it dictates like say end of season rewards what you get, like maybe like livery, like wheels, that like
maybe.
unique stuff to that. That's an incentive to like play ranked.
Yeah. Actually, that would work well with this game, because actually no, they said they're going to add a rap editor, so I guess that would mean that if they were to have a ranked mode in which you'd win like an exclusive livery, then someone could recreate it in the rap editor. It's not going to be on launch, but they are going to add a rap editor later on. I've heard. I don't know 100% for certain. Yeah, overall, just a bit of a weird one. Also the marketing, dude. The trailer.
That was cringe.
I hate the
I
trailer.
hated it.
Yeah, it's cancer. Like this guy's having
5'10".
having a Vietnam flashback every time he hears 5'10".
Do you know what the funniest thing about that is?
It's the most absurd commercial I've ever seen in my life.
Because I watched it through again like a couple times, and yeah, when he sees like his friend that got that 5'10" record online 7 years ago, bro, you're still waking up in cold sweats at 5'10" because your friend's 5'10" record from 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's
What's
just
happening,
not,
bro.
that's just not realistic.
Your girlfriend looks like she wants to leave you, bro.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
As we speak.
He doesn't have.
She's getting back shots while you got a 5'9". Yeah.
Also, I wonder how much that actually paid him to do that, because that was cringe, and he probably thought that too. You can see it in the eyes, man.
I hope he got paid well for that.
Oh my gosh!
I really hope.
That ad was something else.
Half the budget of Need Speed Heat.
Probably wanted the ad, yeah. Honestly, the budget of the ad itself is probably far above the budget for Hot Pursuit Remastered.
That's my main problem about the fucking ad. It's like, bro, I can tell that's where all the effort and funding went.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You know, and the guy in the ad, his problem wasn't that he needed like a new way to like beat his friend's time. He needed a psych ward. Waking up 7 years after someone beat your leaderboard time, you're still.
Do you know I don't get about that either.
Sweats in it. Yeah.
Why don't you just play your non-remastered version for the past 7 years trying to beat it if you care that much?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't.
I spent long hauls beating like leaderboard times or like scores like months at a time.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, you just gave up and waited 7 years with like PTSD, mate. Honestly, with how he picked it up, like if he had a good day and gone to a good mindset, he probably could have beat it within like a month after his friend said it before the game died.
Dude, everyone knows I Suck at Driving, or what was it? MSWGR, the one YouTuber, the guy on keyboard. I said or MSWGR, I think. I don't remember. That's what I envisioned because that was their old username. But like the one guy that's extremely good at racing it, he beat 5'10" on that track using an RX-8, whereas in the thing he's been trying to beat his friend's time in a Reventon, in a Lamborghini
and
Reventon.
his friend did it on a Ford GT.
Yeah. To be fair, right? To be fair, there were the Ford GT and the Reventon, they're both balanced to be in the same class. So,
good point. I forget that.
Yeah, they're both, I think, exotic class. So like all the cars are balanced a bit so that they can. But like he used a mod that lets you use any vehicle.
Some of them are brutal. Some of them are meta. Let's put it there.
I said
I think they're revenge.
He used a mod that let him use any vehicle on any race, and so he used the RX-8 and beat the time. Like, man,
how much?
It was only by like half a second or something like that. He was basically redlining the whole time, and he wouldn't have been able to beat it unless like a Veyron cop car slammed him in the back and shot him up to 197 or something miles per hour. But it was like a completely flawless run, like probably one of the fastest runs anyone could get in an RX-8.
You know, if you think about it, if you think about the fact that like he got that time, imagine if it was like I said who set that time in that 4 GT.
Oh god!
Whoever that guy, he would be on suicide watch in the psych ward. He would. You're done, mate. The time would not be 5'10". It'll be something like 3'10".
Yeah.
Like you're done, bro. Just give up, please. Like we'll get you through therapy.
Yeah. Oh man. Man. Anyways, Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered. It's gonna be $40 on console and $30 on PC. I don't know why the difference in price, but there you go. And some people were expecting the Switch version to be more pricey, sort of how Burnout Paradise Remastered on consoles was 40, but on Switch was 50. On Switch, it's also 40. So, yeah, whatever. There you go. The game, it's going to come out, I think, November 7th? November 6th? November 7th? Can someone clarify? Something like that.
I think who fucking cares?
Dude, like, just if you want the game, just buy a used copy of the original one. Or
Yeah.
I don't know,
CD
man.
keys,
Actually,
boy,
no. You know
your
what?
friend.
You can't actually buy normal Hot Pursuit 2010 on PC anymore. I think they delisted it. Maybe did they? I don't know. Maybe. But there always are sources on the internet that will not be discussed where you can obtain
I'm looking
software.
at this. I'm looking at this. It's at least in my prices, it's eight New Zealand dollars on Origin for this Keijin.
That's honestly for a
Bro, it's a
CDP
bargain.
site,
All you boys,
that's
even
not
if
that
you
bad.
played this ages ago, it is 110% worth ANZ. That is good. That's a great price for that game, actually, especially if you never played it.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Stelio. I paid $5 for it on a Steam sale a few years back. I never finished it. I beat it on PS3, but I just couldn't be bothered. So be aware that it's not for everyone, but I think the vast majority of fans really do like the game. So yeah,
you'll know if you like it. I feel.
Yeah, there's like an 80%
at this big age.
Yeah, there's like an 80% chance that you'll like it, and if you don't, it's only like however much money it is. It's not that bad. The remaster, I don't know if I can recommend that. The weird thing is, I don't think getting it on Switch is a bad idea. Because if you have a Switch, and you want like a decent portable racing game, and you already I don't know, played Burnout, or maybe you don't like Burnout, which is completely fine. Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered makes some sense, but I still think it's overpriced. I can't get over the $40 price tag.
Oh no, hell no.
Yeah, and
I looked it up in New Zealand, 80 New Zealand dollars.
Oh
like
my
what?
gosh, yeah.
It's like I'm like, what the fuck? This is nearly the price of a new game.
It is, yeah.
Wasn't it cheaper than Need for Heat though? That's like some.
It is.
Oh
yeah.
no,
it's yes for US standards. Heat would have been $60 US, but Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered is $40.
Yeah, for the boys that is listening, for some whatever fucking reason, if you do, I worry for your soul. If you ever want to play Heat and it's 100% off, I want you to type in www.fitgirl.com. You heard that from me, but you also didn't.
Yeah, you heard that from him. You didn't hear that from me.
I actually thought of this. Technically, if you already bought, this is like a thing, like a ethical thought process. If I bought Hot Pursuit and then I pirated it, technically I already paid, purchased, and owned it legally.
Yeah, you see, that is how I would with Need for Speed Carbon. It doesn't work on Windows 10, but no CD crack will. I have the game. I bought it. I have the physical collector's edition on PC. I have the discs and everything, and it doesn't want to work on Windows 10. Fair enough. I download a CD crack. No CD crack. I can't ever say that in that order. And then the game works now, but I purchased. I don't have the rights to it, but I have the software. I own the software, and it's almost comparable to owning a licensed rights. I don't know how it works, man.
Hypothetically, how games work nowadays is that, remember, it's a service. You're paying for a service, so
yeah.
Technically wouldn't. Yeah, it's one of those things
it's
where
complicated.
Yes, but also the way they've made it so that you can't loophole. No.
Yeah.
It actually is logical, but actually it used to be like that way back in the day. That's actually the reason why LimeWire and shit started blowing the fuck up is because people would buy it, burn the whole CD, and just toss it out there. That's pretty much why they removed that rule.
Oh man. Yeah, no. And actually, what's interesting, a random side tangent. There are a lot of places where you can buy pirated games because that country doesn't get illegal copies very often. Someone was mentioning they lived in Indonesia, and you'd almost always only find pirated copies of games. Like you go to a game store and they have discs, just plain discs, and then with a Sharpie they've written over the name of the game on it. It's like it's like $3 or whatever the heck it costs.
They have that they have that all kinds of places. I know they have it in Pakistan. They used to have it in the UK, like in certain places.
Bro, they have that I remember they used to have that like for a little bit in like Rarotonga, like in the islands. They had that shit, like
Yeah.
burnt CDs of games and movies.
Yeah, I
They
remember
get
that.
the actual ones imported through. Now they do because it's like a tourist trap, but.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, before I remember when I was like way younger over there. Yeah, it used to be a fucking blank CD, and it would be like you'd see like Finding Nemo written on it. So yeah,
Yeah. I think that's basically all we have to say about Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered. I don't know if we missed anything. But there you go. Yeah,
there's
it's
too much to talk
$40
about
crossplay.
besides deep analysis on the trailer.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
Or the fact that they had a 350 when the Z in the game is a 370. Hell, they
Wait,
could have
what?
done the trailer. I thought because remember the
right.
370.
Yeah, but
is
like,
actually in,
I think
like,
I don't really that
no, I
one
don't really
doesn't
care
bother
about
me that much.
No, they could have made the trailer actually a bit better if it was like he was driving off in like the 370 and then
Yeah, I
it
guess.
slowly cuts
Oh,
to
and
a
then it
shot of the
like cuts
370
to
game. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, actually, that would be
that'd be pretty
sick.
cool.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Hell, they could have done it where like it doesn't have to be 510 or whatever, but like he set the time into 370 and then he's driving the 370 away in real life when he drops off. That'd be pretty sick.
Actually, you know what probably happened? They're like, okay, we don't have that much budget, so let's just take. Oh, our coworker Jim has a 350Z, and that's also in heat, so we can use that. Yeah, let's use that then. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the process.
That's way funny to think. It's way funny to think that's actually what happened.
Yeah, like, well, we don't really want to pay to rent out, I don't know, like a Lamborghini or something like that. So let's just, yeah. I will say, in concept, the ad, I actually think it's pretty interesting that they did it from the perspective of like, it's kind of meta. They're like, hey, we're acknowledging it's a remaster of a game, right? Whereas a trailer for Heat will kind of almost attempt to immerse you in it or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know how I think of that ad is? It's like, as far as how it could hit with like the potential, it's like Full Metal Jacket like sniper round, but like you completely miss your shot. Like, wow, that was okay. That was a cool little thing. Okay, let's go next.
Yeah. Actually, some people are saying that they might remaster Most Wanted 2012 in 2022. That is going to cause an interesting reaction.
Well,
let me just say it. Go ahead.
For Need for Speed, it's like, bro, you got this negative feedback on a remake for Most Wanted Hot Pursuit 2010, which is actually, like personally quite good. Yeah. Imagine if they do it for 25. Imagine the comments. They're going to be crazy. Actual just flame in your comments.
Because they have to know. There's no way they don't know how much people want like a Most Wanted.
Like, you're not reading the room. Blind, mate.
Granted,
They donated the eyes to science and then
did this dyslexic.
Yeah, I wouldn't want like a remake of older Need for Speed games, just because when you remake it, there's a greater chance of you messing something up. Whereas a remaster is just like a touch up, but those older games would need more than a remaster.
Yeah, I've always thought remakes scare me. Yeah, like the idea of a remake, like what could go wrong. Oh.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is, they know how much people have wanted, like a Most Wanted or Underground 2 remaster or remake, right? I'm not saying that's what I want, but I know people. Yeah, even just people want that. They have to know that they do. It's like every comment under any post is like, "Hey, when are you going to remaster this game?" Right? I'm not saying I support that idea, but all I'm saying is it exists, right? And it's very prominent. So when they remaster the most wanted and it's the wrong Most Wanted, oh, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad.
My boys are gonna flame it in when I like VC with them, and they're not even racing game fans.
Yeah, they're not.
Because that's the thing. I know for a fact if you remaster like just even a remaster, not even a remake, or like Underground 2 or Most Wanted 5, I'm gonna be playing that game in lobbies with my boys who don't play any racing games at all.
Yeah.
You're gonna bring back some people, actually, if anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the nostalgia alone, that shit is powerful.
I think the reason why is because some people are like, maybe as Criterion is getting back in the swing of things of making Need for Speed, they
best hits playlist
had Stellar Entertainment Remastered Burnout, and then they're gonna do 2010, and then it's been 2 years, another 2-year gap of games, another 2-year gap of remastered games. Might as well do Most Wanted 2012. Interestingly enough, I think the community manager Max said somewhere, I don't remember if it was on Discord or Twitter or something like that. I think it's like a screenshot. He said some people want a remaster of The Run. Whether or not that indicates if there would be a remaster of The Run, I don't know. But like honestly, I liked The Run, but that was because I paid $5 for it. I paid $5 for The Run, and it was a great experience, but extremely short, right? The problem in remastering The Run is that you're going to try to sell a $5 experience for $40.
Because
so
one theory I thought was good was about games. It's like dollars per. I think someone said dollars per hour.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty interesting ratio of how to like the metrics of a game.
True, but some games
it doesn't always apply. It's super and shout out to all my like women beaters out there, like rule of thumb type deal.
Yeah.
But that is interesting because it is super short, that game.
It is.
Because I played through it. I played through it April, because I was 20. I turned 20 by then. Yeah, I played through it like April, May this year. And it took me like 2-3 days on like extreme. Even remove the difficulty factor from it, that's like pretty short. And that's not even like a full 2-3 days of blowing through it. Like I was going to like birthday parties.
I assume like maybe like an hour a day for 2 to 3 days, probably.
Pretty much, like because I would wake up like real late, like in the afternoon, play like an hour or two, and then I'll be like, oh shit, it's fine. I have to go like to his birthday party with the boys.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm pretty sure if I got a full day to myself, I could just solo the game in a day.
Yeah, it's extremely short. And I know people are like, oh, but Challenge Series. The Challenge Series is great, but it's still not, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't elicit the same reaction as making progress within the campaign.
That's side content, though.
Yeah, it is side content.
Yeah, like you can, these like variables, like maybe it's not side, it's part of the main, blah, blah, blah. But then but that's not side content. Now you're getting into, you attribute side content as like an expansion / DLC. This is included in the main game.
Yeah. If they were to remaster either The Run or Most Wanted in 2012, I'm going to be so confused, man. So confused. Not that confused because I know, like, as a business decision, you want to remaster an already decent looking game. But I'm going to be so confused as to why even though they aren't in a good position with their fans right now, as of what's been happening with the last few games, they're still not going to prioritize their fans over the business decisions. Or, again, it could be top people at EA messing things up. I don't know who it is, man, but I know I'm not happy. That's all I gotta say. I don't know whose fault, if anyone's, it is, but a really odd situation. And I forgot to mention, the Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered, the remaster is not on PS5 or Series X. It's on current gen. As to whether or not they're planning on making it for next gen, I don't know. But that seems kind of weird. Because it's going to actually, wait, no. If it comes out like November 6th or something, doesn't it? Hold on a second. Series X release date. The Series X, why is this? I would expect it to just tell me right now, but apparently it's not going to. Let's see this article. The Series X is going to come out November 10th. November 10th. So what you're telling me is the remaster is going to come out like just a few days before the new consoles come out, and it's not going to come out for the new consoles. I mean, granted, maybe they will support it later on. That's a possibility. But
get the new consoles that's coming out before these new games like Cyberpunk, which will outshadow it.
yeah, that's true.
And people are going to play something like that rather than a 10-year-old game. That was
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That they've already
honestly,
played, most likely.
the thing is, the
Yep.
target demographic is so different. Like
I was about to say that's a different demo, but
yeah,
also my thing
I
is
don't know, maybe.
you're missing the demo of people who would get the next gen consoles.
Yeah, yeah. The thing, it's just maybe they could announce it. And here's the thing: it's not like they put much time and effort into the remaster, anyways. So they just port it over to next gen. You know, like
Nah,
they
too
didn't
much
change
effort.
textures, they didn't change anything. However, you know what? I didn't think about it. What if they did end up making it for next gen and they like drastically changed textures and everything else? But no, that
would
see,
be cool. But
that still wouldn't make
That
sense.
would be sick,
unless
but
they
that would also
updated the
be
PC
grief.
version. Yeah, unless they updated the PC version, that wouldn't make sense. It's just such a weird time to make a remaster. I think they really just
It's
wanted
just-
to get out of game. You know what it is? I bet someone at EA is like, "Hey, make games for the Switch. The Switch is selling well." And they're like, "Hey, you have a limited amount of time. Just push something out." And they're like, "Okay, we'll make a remaster of Hot Pursuit 2010 and also slap it onto base consoles."
Do you know what my thing is? So you think we need games for the Switch for like that games that people like that you'd gear towards like the majority of the demographic of people who buy Switches and it's Hot Pursuit 2010.
Yeah. Again, like it wouldn't be that bad as an introduction. Like I could see some of my friends possibly
It could
maybe
be way
enjoying
worse.
it, but
It could be worse.
Yeah, no, dude. If only there was Need for Speed 2015 on Switch, like I would buy that game again. And I know I bought it on PS4. Eventually gave that copy away. Got it on PC. I would buy that game again. All right, and 2015 isn't even good. Man, if it came out for Switch though, I would buy that game again. But regardless, that's Hot Pursuit 2010 for y'all. Or the remaster. And yeah, I could imagine some people saying, why do you think it's overpriced when you don't think Burnout Paradise Remastered is overpriced? Two things. The first thing is, they did change a decent portion of things, in terms of textures and other things. And the second point, it is overpriced. It is absolutely overpriced. If I've ever said before that it's not overpriced, that's not the truth. I definitely think it's overpriced. The reason I'm okay with it is because I enjoy the game subjectively. So much so that it does not bother me that I would have to pay so much money for it. Right? Again, I'm admitting that it's not that great. But I'm letting you know that me personally, I would not mind paying that much for Paradise Remastered. Moving on, there's been a lot of other next-gen console news in general. So, I guess we can get into some of that. One of the things that I thought was absolutely hilarious, the PS5 trademark is owned by some company in India and not Sony. Which is,
That's grief.
yeah. I just thought that was hilarious. I'm going to pull up the
You better
article
pay
in
up,
a
don't
few.
you, Sony?
Yep.
But unlucky. Or you
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Seeing
really
the blacked out Toyota Crowns around with the ski masks. Yeah, Sony, you can put your death squads out there. Coca-Cola has some. You need to get on the wave.
Exactly. So, yeah, so someone in India filed a trademark for, I guess, just PS5, like those three characters in and of itself, in October 2019. So that's interesting.
I'm interested to know what.
I don't even know, like, what are they going to do with it, other than just
I was
like
gonna
say, hey,
say-
Sony, you have to pay me to get your
Oh, no,
rights
not
back.
even that. Maybe it was for something completely different, like a company that was just called like PS5. That like
Yeah,
It's
like,
like a run company
imagine
or some
they
bullshit,
make,
yeah.
I don't know, they make air conditioners, and they're calling one the Willwood PS2s. You don't know what it is. We have no idea what the PS5 could be over there in India.
Some Nick shit.
Yeah. So that was really wild, but there you go. Some of the other stuff. Apparently, GT's Gran Turismo 7 is going to run at 4K 60 with ray tracing. So in other words, the sky is blue. I really don't know how this is news for anyone. But apparently it was enough to make a headline. The thing is, when you just look at the graphical leap and everything else, like it's a pretty significant jump between that and like the PS4 Pro, which was designed to almost do 4K 30. So naturally it would just do 4K 60, wouldn't it? Yes, ray tracing, I understand that that's more intensive, but I think with the RDNA GPU in it, I mean, well, I guess the article is proof that it could handle it, but I'm not very surprised by it. Maybe the reason I'm not surprised is for the wrong reasons, because I don't know how much or how powerful the hardware is. Maybe that is supposed to be a really crazy feat, but I'm just really not surprised. So yeah, GT7 is going to run at 4K 60. Honestly, I think 4K 60 will kind of be the 1080p 30 of this generation, and 4K 120 will be the 1080p 60 of this generation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like your Call of Duties, your closed track racers, your I don't know, some certain games that either would be less demanding, or I guess maybe a studio would potentially, when they would design a game to run at 60, I guess they would now be running at 120. And 4K 60 seems to be the baseline, which I think is great, honestly. I would be tempted to get like a next gen system and not worry about PC at all. I don't know if this happened earlier, like if with the PS4 they're like, hey, we're gonna prioritize 1080p 60. It's gonna be the baseline for almost everything. Then hey, I don't even know if I really want to get a PC. But when I did discover, I guess personally for me, all the other things that I would be able to do with it. So I guess that decision's been set in stone for a while. But it's a good thing to hear about how things are now prioritizing 4K 60. But yeah, there you go. The Xbox Series X's games are going to be region free. What's always confused me is just the idea of region locking. I don't know why. I just don't know why people would region lock games and stuff. So
because they're Japanese. Yeah. Like honestly, that like our meme though that it's actually the most commonly region locked games is the Japanese games usually, because what was it? They run on, especially the PS2, like pretty much every single Japanese game that isn't like non-localized and exported, they're pretty much all like NTSC J, and because of that, apparently that is the reason. Like you can like run on PAL just normal NTSC, but it's like actually region lock the game itself from that format.
Yeah, weird.
And you can run it in a crazy way if you manage to get your hands on a Japanese PS2.
Yeah.
Or a TV. A Japanese TV just works as well. It's like, oh, okay.
Man.
You're really just trying to fucking gatekeep your own products.
I remember some people
like, luckily
they'd make a PlayStation account based in Japan so that they could get access to some of the games on that store, which I thought were really interesting. So I think that was something people did, but yeah,
I can see that being a thing.
There are actually quite a few racing games. I think it's like in the PS1 era, especially that were region locked and made in Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there are like a couple like street racing games before the scene hit the US. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I'm fairly certain there were actually some number of street racing Japanese PS1 games, and then we only really saw that in the US uh, after the Fast and the Furious took off. So interesting to think about.
I just remember actually this is like say one regional difference is because it's called Tokyo Extreme Racer over there, right?
Yes.
Here it was weird because it was translated, but it was still shooter called Battle Express. No, just shooter called Battle.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
I'm kind of sad though that we didn't get like the movie localizations from there. Like, imagine Wild Speed. Yeah, Wild fucking Speed. Let's go,
man.
Classic Japanese marketing.
It's a good thing that the Series X is going to be region free. I just hope all the consoles are this time, and we can stop gatekeeping. You know, that'd be nice.
Sony, I don't think they will, to be honest. But I think
they'll region keep it. It's like you think of Sony, where Sony's located, the country, and then you think of
Oh, you're right.
That's a good chance that it's probably region locked.
Yeah, I actually think the Switch is region free. It might be. I don't.
But that was one of the things I was always praised for.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Maybe the fact that both Nintendo.
Switch.
Yeah, that would kill it off.
That's grief.
Yeah. I don't know if it would kill it off. It would just not be good.
Oh no, it wouldn't. It would just be like, you can't play these very unique set of games that, and to be fair, either will make or break it for people.
Yeah,
some people. Yeah.
But I hope that with Microsoft and Nintendo going at it with region free, I guess, game delivery or systems and whatnot, maybe that'll get Sony to reconsider their stance on it, but who knows? One of the last thing I want to mention is we got more information on backwards compatibility for the PS5. They said that not every game was going to be supported, which did worry some people. It worried me because I was like, if I did eventually get a PS5, would it be able to play Drive Club and some of the other things I have? And only a few games are not going to be playable on the PS5. And when I say a few games, I mean Hitman Go,
10 games,
and Joe's 10 games. Diner, and We Sing, and
Joe's Diner.
Yeah.
Don't even wait.
I don't even know what the heck. Like it sounds like shovelware to me. It sounds like shovelware. I'm not saying it is, but it sounds like it. So, it's only a couple games, and I really don't know if anyone's going to be missing them. I guess there's TT Isles, man.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't. So honestly, that's fantastic news. I mean, maybe if you're a fan of one of those games, I guess that would be frustrating. But really, I mean, every other game is going to be compatible with the PS5, which is fantastic. That means Drive Club, that means GT Sport, that means so many other things. So, and some of the games are going to have quote unquote game boost. So I think it would basically be just like a frame rate increase. And yeah, I guess that would depend on whether or not they would have what's it called? Whether or not the game would have an unlocked frame rate. So I guess it depends. Unless they might have to recode things. So nobody expect no one should expect Drive Club to be running at 60 frames because of Game Boost. It would, if it did support it, it would not make a difference because I think the game's capped. And I really don't think they're gonna put the funding in to change that. So there you go. But honestly, that has made me consider the PS5 as an actual viable thing, as an actual system that I might own later on in the future. Because now I can trade in my PS4, keep all the games, trade in the controllers too, and get a PS5, and then it just as a more functional PS4, but it also plays Gran Turismo. If you get what I'm saying. So I don't know. I'm definitely not going to get one soon. That's for certain. I still want to. You see, I still want to plan on upgrading my PC, just because I'm going to be doing other stuff on that I guess I wouldn't be able to do on a PS5. Actually, my job might depend on it. If I end up with like a job with at what's it called? I don't know, like some kind of mechanical engineering job, then I might have to use SolidWorks or other CAD software or something like that. So yeah. So I'm gonna very briefly do something. Hopefully this isn't too much of a distraction, but I'm noticing some issues with audio. So I'm gonna take 1 second to address something. And you're like, oh man, aren't you gonna stop recording the podcast or edit this part out? Why am I hearing this? We're not gonna edit anything.
Yeah, welcome to the Vermin Sermon,
Yeah,
mate.
welcome to the Vermin Sermon.
You're keyed in. Hear all the nitty gritty bullshit that happens. That probably happens to every other podcast, actually. They just edit it out. But,
Yeah, true.
Raw file, mate. Export.
Yeah. So we should be getting back up and running pretty quickly. We're almost towards the end here, so there is that.
I've been talking. Wait, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Now we can.
I can hear you. Oh boy.
Have you just been talking to yourself?
Oh no. Okay.
Wait, what happened?
We haven't heard you for a decent chunk of time.
I was AFK for a bit. I had some other BS to deal with.
Yeah. You nearly got yes.
I did say. Don't talk.
Oh man.
I don't know about that. Let's see what happens.
So okay. So what did you say? I guess regarding the PS5 and backwards compatibility, because I think that was around the time the audio cut.
I said that the might not do it because knowing Sony, like they took ages just to get cross-plat.
Yeah, but I mean, like they confirmed themselves that they're going to have backwards compatibility, and then it's only there's a certain list of games that are only going to be
they only
PS4.
have they only have 10 games that are not backwards compatible, which is pretty good out of a few thousand.
Yeah, around 4,000, 3 to 4,000. A decent chunk of games. I hope that they have a similar thing to what the Series X does, which is if your backwards compatible game had an Xbox One X enhancement, then you would also, I guess, experience those differences on the new console, right? So, for instance, Gran Turismo Sport plays at 4K 60, and on a PS4 Pro, or around 4K 60, maybe they use checkerboarding. I don't remember or know or care. But I'm hoping that you would get that same experience on the PS5, meaning when you go backwards compatible, you get those enhancements. I think that would be a really smart decision, but who knows? Yeah, I think that's about it. We're about 2 minutes short off of how long we'd normally have things go, but yeah, and I think, Soul, you're talking and it's not registering again. Okay, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you. It might be my internet, actually.
I don't know what's going on.
Man, this is the one podcast. It doesn't want to end. Oh, man.
Yeah, the society's living.
Yes, sir. So, before we run into any more issues, I think we should end it off. So, guys, leave a comment. Tell us what you want to talk about. Do whatever. And we'll see you guys all in the next one.